So, people who say that, money is at the top of this business. I mean, we make good money. We make a lot of money. But as you get to know us more, you'll see that we're more about, like, we're more than just making money. We're about more, far more. We're about family. We're about, all these 8 steps that I'm getting ready to go over. Like, these are our core values. So the longer you stick around, the longer you get to know us, the more you'll find out that you can make money and have good friends and have fun and live a good life. So it's just, man, it's just amazing. I've been here for a few years now, and it keeps getting better and better. The system keeps getting better and better. So my name is Jeremeko Edwards, as Stephen Davies said. I'm a single father here in Detroit, Michigan. And since I've been with Stephen and Holly, now how I was introduced to this business, like Stephen said, was somebody talked to me about the business. I didn't know Stephen at all. But somebody talked to me. So when I came here, I had to figure out how to go from being in the factory, because that's where I met Stephen. I was in the factory and somebody recruited me and he said, "Hey, Stephen Davies is making a lot of money. He wants you to come to this meeting in Troy, Michigan." So when I went to Troy, Michigan, Andy Albright, he was talking about making money and traveling the world. So I was fired up. I was a young man. I was like, you know what? I want to make good money and travel the world. So one guy gave me not Think You Are Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad. One guy gave me a Rich Dad Poor Dad book, and he had a good family, and they were always happy, and they were always moving around, and they had their spiritual life together. And I just asked him, "Hey man, what's the secret? Like, what are you doing?" And he gave me Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was the first book that changed my life. It changed my mind. And then when I meet Andy Albright, he's saying, "Hey, you can change your life by just helping people with insurance." And then he said, "You follow these 8 steps, you can grow. So not only can you make money, but you can grow as a person." So these 8 steps that I'm getting ready to go over will not only help you make more money in this business, but it'll help you grow as a person. And of course, the more you grow, the more money you're going to make. But growing as a person is number one. Somebody said, I think it was T. Harv Eker. Somebody said, if somebody gives you $1 million, you better hurry up and become a millionaire. What that means is, if you don't grow, you can make money and you can lose money. But if you don't grow, you can't keep the money. Heck, you may not even make the money. So growth is crucial to you changing your life. So everybody did a great job on here. The phone script, Mark Hutchison, Evan, Diane, everybody did an excellent job. Stephen with the team building. Take all those notes and implement everything. These 8 steps, this would just help everything flow smooth. If you would implement these things, you'll change your life. Coming from a factory, I had to change my life. I had to go from a factory worker to a businessman. I couldn't do that. I could not do that without these 8 steps, because I didn't know how to transform myself. All I knew was working in a factory, making $17 an hour. That's all I knew. And then I got the forklift job. So I was on the line and I got the forklift job and I was making $17.50 an hour. Still didn't top 18. and now so I went from 17 an hour to $250,000 a year. Does that make sense? I had to grow as a person. I had to change as a person. So, all right, so let's get into the 8 steps. Now, I have some books coming. I ordered about 30 books, 8 steps books. I have some books coming. I ran out, gave it away. Hopefully you have the 8 steps book in front of you. It's Andy Albright's 8 Steps to Success book. So this is his first book that he came out with. And he had all of us in mind when he wrote this book. All of the 8 steps, some of these 8 steps is in other books, like Secret to a Millionaire's Mind. He actually covers some of these steps. Like, it's like he knew our business verbatim. He knew the alliance because he put certain things in his book. So let's start off. All right, so the 8 steps to success. Now I'll just go over the 8 steps and then we'll go over them one by one. Number 1 is personal use. Number 2 will be work. Number 3 is study audio and video training. Number 4 is read the books. Number 5 is attend all meetings. Number 6 is be teachable. Number 7, be accountable. Number 8, communicate with the proper mental attitude. Now, step number 1 is personal use. So why is personal use so important? Well, I didn't know about insurance before this business. I had no idea. I was just a young guy, just trying to, just living my life. And then I get in this business and find out, like when I started studying for my license, I found out how important insurance was to your family. And it's like, hey, I got two girls. I got to take care of them. I have to get some type of insurance so I could take care of my daughters. And so if you have family, you definitely want them covered. How would that look if you try to help somebody else cover their family and they ask you about you covering yours and you start stuttering? Man, stuff came up, this and this happened. Like, how would that be if they asked you about, are you covering your family, and you could not answer that question? Here you are, you're a licensed insurance agent, and you don't have your family covered. Something happens to you tomorrow, you get hit by a dump truck. Your family do not have coverage, and you're here trying to help my family. Do you see how that would help you to have more fortitude in what you're doing? You being covered, you can have more conviction, you can have more fortitude, you can talk stronger about it because you're covering your own family. So step number one is get you a policy. If you don't have life insurance on you, you just got licensed, you need to get yourself covered. If my father worked at Chrysler, and if you didn't have a Chrysler car, you have to drive 3 parking lots back. If you had a Ford, you have to drive 3 parking lots back to park. You can't park in the front parking lot. These are only for Chrysler cars. Why is that? Hey, you want it Ford, so it's going to cost you more. So it's the same in this business. If you don't want to get an insurance policy on yourself, it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder for you to help other people because they won't believe you. You won't have the conviction. So personal use. Number 2 is work. Oh boy. All right. Now this is like the 4-letter cuss word, right? Because work is becoming so it's just a fleeting skill, right? To work hard. And so with work, we have to show the program. In this business, we have dials and we have appointments. So you may have recruiting dials, same thing, recruiting dials and appointments. You have production dials and appointments. That is our work. That's what we do. Now, we make $200 to $500 an hour. If you're a licensed insurance agent, you make $200 to $500 an hour. Now, why is that important? Well, just remember, when you're not working, you're losing money. So hopefully if you're not working, then you're doing something productive, something that's going to move your life forward, because we are worth so much per hour. So when we say work, what do you mean by work? Well, we have dial sessions on Monday and Thursday. So by work, we mean when you have people to call, you pick up the phone and you call them and you set an appointment and go see them. That's work. That's considered work. So when we're on the dial sessions, we're making 20 to 30, actually like 30 to 40 dials per hour. So every hour we're dialing that phone, people picking up. Some people are booking appointments. Some people don't pick up. That's fine. But we're working, we're dialing the phone. So that will be your work. That's step number 2 in 8 steps is to work. Why is that? Because if your activity book is empty, that means your bank account will be empty. If you don't work, you don't get paid. People go, well, that's, it's hard in the job because, when I work at a job, I cannot work and get paid. I never had a job like that. Kudos to you. If you have a job where you cannot work and you still get paid, I don't know where you find those jobs at. If I didn't work when I was in a factory, I would get fired. So not only would I not get paid, I wouldn't have a place to come back to the next day if I just didn't work. So kudos to you if you have a job where you cannot work and get paid. I don't know anywhere where you cannot work and get paid. And, Stephen talked about override income. So that's another way. But, if you don't have that, I don't know where you cannot work and still get paid. So we have to work. We have to talk to people about this business, showing the program. So making sales dials, as well as talking to people about the business, all that's working. If you go out today, you go to a Whole Foods, or if you go to the cleaners and you talk to people about this business, that's considered working. Why? Because you're changing people's lives. They could be the next recruit in the alliance and they can make the next $1 million. They could be the next partners. So whenever you're talking to people about this business, that's considered working. Dialing referrals. So once you dial a lead, you get an appointment, you go see them. Working will be, hey, do you know 2 or 3 more people? Evan talked about the ERS. Do you know people who also need this insurance? Do you know people who want my information where they can call? See, that's working as well. Then when you call those referrals, hello, my name is Jeremy. I know your sister, Robbie. Robbie said give you a call because you may need insurance. Boom, that's working. So then you write up, the referrals. That's considered working in our business. Do we have to take off our shirts and go on the roof and slang hammers and do all that stuff? No. Is that harder work? Yes. I don't consider this work. Like it's working, but I've done harder work. If you've done easier work, okay, you gotta step your game up and do this. It's a lot of mental work, but it's work. So, but that's step number 2. So you have to work. And I'm glad it's step number 2 into step number 8. Because if you don't work, man, these other steps just don't matter if you don't put things into action. So step number 2 is work. All right, step number 3, study audio and video training. You have to turn your car into a rolling university. Let me see, I'm 38 now. I listened to music since I was probably 10. I probably say 10. I've been listening to music. So I'm okay with not listening to music on the way to my appointments. So when I'm going to help somebody's family, or either when I'm just riding around doing errands, I'm okay with listening to things that's going to help me grow my brain. Again, if I don't help grow my brain, you're going to stay at the same income level, whatever income level you're at now. If you don't start listening to audios, if you don't be on things like this training, I listen to Mark Hutchinson from beginning to end, and I write good business, but Mark Hutchinson writes more business than me. So I'm on here listening to him while I was running appointments earlier. Like in between appointments, I was listening to Mark Hutchinson. There's some people not on this training this morning that is not writing $10,000 a week, that is not making $500,000 a year, that is not making $1 million a year, and they're not on this call. You don't be that person. I'm preaching to the choir here. You don't be that person. You focus on studying audio, just soaking it up, just listening to it. Replace music. Like, you've heard enough songs. A lot of the songs that got out now aren't that good anyway. So replace it with focusing on things that'll grow you. Audio training, videos, things that'll grow you. We have conference calls. Again, we do a dial session Monday and Thursday. You can just jump on there and listen. You can hear us dial. You can hear us talk. Sometimes we'll do product training on there. Get on that stuff. You have to have a brain washing, right? So I want my brain washed. That's why I went to National Convention, so I could grow and change my brain. Because all I know, Andy knows how to get to multiple millions of dollars. That's what I want to find out, how to get to multiple millions of dollars. So I have to get my brain washed by Andy constantly. So study audio and video training. Number 4, it's going to be a tough one right here. You got to read books. Oh, man, the last book I read was Cat in the Hat. Yeah, we know. Listen, same here. I'm with you. Before this business, the last book I read outside of the Bible was what, Runaway Ralph, something like that. I mean, reading. I really did think when I was finished with high school, I didn't have to read anymore. I said, yep, I'm done with high school. Woo, no more reading. And some of you on here probably feel like that. Like, ooh, no more reading. All you know is all you know. Books are so powerful. You're getting mentored by people who did something. And here's the thing. Coming from my neighborhood, people had goals. Like, they had small goals, right? Like, I want to take care of my children. Yeah, you're supposed to. They had goals like, man, I hope I don't go to jail. you're not supposed to go to jail, and they had goals like, I want to pay my bills. Those were goals. So in order for me to grow my goals, I have to get around different people. I can't always get around Andy Albright. I can't always fly to John Maxwell. But guess what? I can read a book that they wrote. They put their mindset and their information in the book, and they wrote the book, and I could pick it up and read it in the comfort of my own home. Sit right there on the sofa, and I can read. And it's free. Well, the book isn't free, but me reading it, it don't cost me anything. It's actually making me money. The main thing that they kept from slaves are books. Why did they keep books from slaves? If books were not important, why did they keep them from slaves? Again, they didn't want the slaves to get empowered. So every time you read a book, just know that you are being empowered. Every time you read a book, you're growing to emotional stability. I constantly tell my daughters to read. Like, you have to read something every day because you want to grow to emotional stability. So the more you learn, the more you earn. The more you learn, the more emotionally stability, the more emotional stabilized you are. All right. So just keep reading those books. If you go to if you look in your 8 steps book, there's a list of books that you have to read. Again, my first book was Rich Dad Poor Dad. So my first book was Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it opened my eyes to see that I can do better than working at a factory. I had graduated college. I had a year community college. Nobody ever told me that I could do better than working in a factory. But then when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I said, ooh, there's people out here getting it. I don't know why I'm not getting it. So I got to figure out what to do. Now, I didn't have any guidance, but shoot, I'm glad I found this business, because when I read that book, my mind was open, but I didn't have anybody to guide me. And then I met Stephen Davies. So if you read those books, read books every day, read at least 10 minutes a day. Outside of your spiritual routine, outside of the Bible, you have to read business books so you can grow your business mind. Okay. All right. Number 5, attend all meetings. This is a meeting. This boot camp is a meeting. We had live meetings. We used to have live meetings. Now we got Zoom. Hopefully we're back to live soon. And when there's a convention, if I were you, I would pay whatever money it takes to get there. Flight, if it's free, like most of our meetings are free. So you just got to fly there. But if a flight costs you $300 and the information you take away from that meeting and the connections that you make, like Stephen mentioned earlier, the connection between Brandon Beal and Brian Adams. I mean, Brandon had to pay to get to that meeting in order to experience what he experienced. So while people were saving money, staying home, didn't want to come to National Convention, Brandon paid to get to that meeting, and he had an experience with Brian, and now he has a connection with Brian. Does that make sense? That's why meetings are so important. You have to meet people live, build a connection, and then you grow from being around their energy. COVID really affected us, man. Because we wanted to be around each other. Like as the Alliance family, we really wanted to be around each other, but we just couldn't. And it was just like, it's like something was missing. 2021, we're gonna get that back on track. We just had National Convention, and I look forward to having more meetings. Hopefully, with all the vaccines and stuff, hopefully this COVID stuff is cleared up, because that's how we grow faster, is getting around each other, getting to these meetings. And so since we can't do it live, you can do these Zoom meetings. These Zoom meetings, they're going to help you grow. If you don't attend meetings with us, just ask yourself, who's helping you grow? Who's coaching you? Who's helping you grow? If it's your cousin from Little Caesars, that ain't good. If it's your uncle that worked at Walmart and he's helping you grow, that's not good. So what meetings are you attending that's helping you grow? All right. That's number 5. Number 6, be teachable. All you know is all you know. Right? What you know has gotten you to this point where you are now. So if you take anywhere you are in life right now, everything that you've been thinking, people who you've been talking to has gotten you to this point. So now the question is, what more can you learn to get better? How can you get better? Well, you have to be teachable. So here's the thing. We have audios, we have we have live trainings, we have Zoom meetings. But if you're not teachable, it can't penetrate you. It's like dropping, it's like dropping seeds on a cement. It can't penetrate you because you're not teachable. Stephen mentioned it earlier. If anything that we're talking about here, if you say in your brain, I already know that, you're going down a path of not being teachable. We can ask ourselves, how good am I at that? Do you know how much Stephen says that I've heard? Do you know how much Andy says that I've heard already? But I have to ask myself, how good am I at it? If they're still saying it to me, how good am I at it? Even if I thought I was the best at it, how good am I at it? Right? So we have to be teachable, and understand that your brain has gotten you to where you are now. Like, that's, if you could take away anything from this, just understand how you've been thinking has gotten you to this point, has gotten us to this point. Like, the reason why I'm not a millionaire is because I haven't been thinking like a millionaire. Does that make sense? And so everything you've been thinking is up until this point. You have to be teachable in order to learn more. So I'm focusing on becoming more teachable. I have to start listening. Like, I take certain things I ask Stephen and Andy. It's not that I don't know, it's that I want to make sure that my thinking is correct. I want to make sure that my thinking is correct. So, man, please put down everything that you know, put stuff in your back pocket, and just just come into this business with open hands and just say, teach me. People who come like that and they want to learn, those are the most successful people. Sometimes richer people are dumber people, right? Or society will say they're dumb because sometimes they can listen to certain things, or sometimes they can be naive because they don't think, they just do. So they do more than they think. They ask questions of people who's more successful, and then they do. Where some people, they think a lot. If you think too much and you think that you're real smart and you're not teachable, then you won't implement some stuff that you should implement. Some of the stuff Mark said, I heard some of the things that Mark was saying on the phone script, and it's uncomfortable. When you have to ask a question in the house, and you have to be silent, and you have to, and just certain ways that he talked to people, certain things you ask in the house. When we have to go through that in the house, it's uncomfortable, but it will make you a lot of money. So if you stay teachable, we can teach you the uncomfortable things. But if you're not teachable, you're going to blow them off. You're going to say that's not important. You're going to say I do things my way. That's just how you're going to be if you're not teachable. So we're looking for teachable people, and we're looking for people that's willing to learn this system. All right. Because I was not teachable in the beginning. Like, I started this business and I was grateful, but I still was like, well, I'm not comfortable. I used to say things like, I'm not comfortable with that, so it's not the right thing to do. Why? Because you're not comfortable. So because you're not comfortable, then it's not right. So if you're teachable, then just because it's uncomfortable, then you're going to still try it. You're going to still do it, right? All right. So be accountable. Number 7, be accountable. You want to let your yes mean yes. If you say you're going to be somewhere, be somewhere. If you say you're going to do something, do something. That's step number 7. Why is accountability so important? Accountability is so important. In this book, I have a book over here called Success Principles. The number 1, he dedicated a whole chapter in Success Principles to being accountable, because people who don't take accountability for their lives, they end up not doing anything. You get what I mean? So where your life is now, you have to take full accountability for it. Whether it's good or bad, you have to take accountability for it. That's the only way that we can move forward. So if a person got themselves deep into debt before this business, you have to go, you know what, my fault. I did this, I did that. I bought a boat. I bought multiple cars and I shouldn't have. That's on me. Please, can you help me get out of it? But if you come in this business and you in debt and you blaming everybody else, you go, well, what happened was so-and-so, everybody, the world is against me. Everything is collapsing on me. Nobody likes me. That's why I'm in debt. Nobody likes me. The man is holding me back. That's why I'm in debt, because the man got me in debt. My parents, they didn't raise me with the proper understanding of money. That's why I'm in debt. Do you see how unattractive a non-accountable person is? Like, it's unattractive. When are you going to take accountability? When are you going to say, you know, my bad? When are you going to say, you know what? This is on me. This is on me. How can I fix it? That's accountability. You say you're going to be somewhere. How attractive is it when you're waiting on somebody to show up? They say they're going to show up and they don't show up. So we don't want to be those type people. See, here in the Alliance, we're teaching each other and we're holding each other accountable, and and we love to be held accountable. So even if it's not on you, start taking on more stuff. If you go, well, I really can't find anything to be accountable for, start taking on more stuff. Like, that's part of our 8 steps. If you have a lead bill that you have to pay, if you purchase leads, pay the bill. If there's chargebacks, pay the chargebacks. Like, there's things in this business that you have to take accountability for. If you just little stuff, if you run out of paper, you run out of gas, don't kick the car. If you run out of gas, don't kick the car. Blame yourself for not getting gas earlier. It's okay. Just take accountability. So the faster we learn to take accountability in our life, I'm telling you, friends, our life will be a heck of a lot better when we take accountability. The last one, okay, run out of time here. The last one, communicate with the proper mental attitude. A proper mental attitude would be, what is the issue? How can I solve it? What is the issue? How can I solve it? That's a proper positive mental attitude. What is the issue? How can I solve it? Here's what a negative mental attitude is. I ran 5 appointments. 3 of them were home. I didn't close. 2 of them rescheduled. I'm a horrible agent. I don't like this business. I can't close the door. People don't like me. Does that make sense? Like, that's a negative mental attitude. So you see the difference? So here's a positive mental attitude. Hey, Steven, I had 5 appointments. I didn't close 3. I sat with 3, didn't close them. 2 of them rescheduled. What did I do wrong? How can I get better? Do you see how you can move faster like that? If you start whining and complaining, now we got to get you out of that hole. Now we got to get you out of the hole and then get you better. But if you come in level, you say, hey, this is what happened. How can I get better? See, now we can lift you up. Don't come in like this, because now we got to go grab you. We got to go grab you, bring you all the way back up. Come in like this. That way we can just lift you up. Like, hey, it's what you can do better. Say this next time. Do this next time. Simple. Communicate with a positive mental attitude, and boom. I'm telling you. So personal use, work, study audio, read the books, attend all meetings, be teachable, be accountable, positive mental attitude. These are all the lubricants to make this machine work well. Your machine, your business is like a machine. You take care of it, keep it lubricated. You keep your car. You have to keep clean oil in your car, and you have to keep your car gassed up. This 8 steps, it's like the gas in this machine. All right. It's like the oil, the gas and the oil. It's like it keeps it moving. It keeps it lubricated. We need these 8 steps to communicate with each other. We need these 8 steps to grow as a team. All right. And grow as a team. We are 2021. It's getting ready to get ugly. I hit recognized district manager last month, and man, we are going to continue to grow. I look forward to everybody. I want to hear your goals. I want to hear what you want to accomplish in 2021, because we got to do it big. I mean, the economy's coming back where everything is opened up here in Michigan. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. People are more willing to buy than ever. We got so many leads. We got people willing to buy. We got people looking for work. COVID has really opened up people's eyes to entrepreneurship. People have gotten real creative in 2020, and now 2021. Those people are out there looking. So let's go find them. Let's build our teams. Let's grow our brands. And man, oh man, we're gonna live it up. And so let's see. That will bring this boot camp to a close. Listen, implement everything that you learned on here. Rewatch this, re-listen to it, because I'm telling you, anytime you have people like Mark Hutchinson and Stephen Davies talking to you, and they are as good at what they do as them, you want to listen to a person that's good in their field. You want to listen to a person that's good in their craft. So don't listen to your own thoughts. Don't listen to your cousin that work at Little Caesars. Don't listen to your uncle that work at Walmart. They are good people, but they cannot help you in this business. So focus on what we taught you here today. Go out, implement it. And man, everybody have a great Saturday. Next Monday morning, dial session, we back on it, and we're going to hit it hard. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great evening.